Hey everybody, and welcome to a rare wild ride with Steve-O. Our guest this week is special. In many ways, not the least of which is that they don't do interviews very often. How we got her? Crazy, who knows? But it is Paris Jackson. And as I tell you this, I am on tour in Canada with a gorgeous puppy on my lap named Rue, which we picked up at the Toronto Humane Society. Why? Because Wendy's afraid of the bus, and I could not do it to her anymore, forcing her to travel around on the bus. So since I don't have Wendy on tour, I decided to pick up a foster dog. We're going to find a home for him, and I just want to do that all the time. I'd like to find a home for a dog in every city I go to. But that's just because I care about the world. And also, I care about the environment, and that's why I love Liquid Death Mountain Spring Water. That's right. It comes in infinitely recyclable aluminum cans, and their mission is to bring death to plastic. That's why it's called Liquid Death. The cans are super cool. They look like tall boy beer cans, and what else can I say about them? They are so generous that if you go to liquiddeath.com/Steve-O, they will give you free shipping on any order of water and or merch. And their merch is a whole lot of fun. Their water is fantastic, and they are saving the world along with me and Rue. So jump on this deal because shipping ain't cheap, and they're giving it to you for free by going to liquiddeath.com/Steve-O for free shipping on all of your orders of water and merch. Now, let's get into it. Okay, so
you rescued her. She's sweet. How long have you had her?
I've 5 years and
3 days.
5 days or something.
That makes sense. She's been around for 5 years. You're funny. You're so funny.
Yeah. All right, and let's get you kind of on that mic just so that we. I mean, by all means, pull it over to you so you can keep playing with Wendy.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, she really is something else. And here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Paris Jackson.
Hello.
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 What's up?
This is quite the honor. Thank you so much for coming. I was just telling you that I felt like really pretty nervous about asking you if you would do this.
Why?
Just because it seemed like a long shot. Like I mean, I don't know. I think maybe I'm just that's just me. I don't know. But yeah, thank you for that. It was really cool. Do you remember? We saw each other at an acting studio.
I was probably like, I want to say 13, 14 maybe?
It's been a
decade.
full decade.
Yeah.
You were sober?
Yeah, I was sober. It was absolutely 2012. And I don't even know if I ended up taking any classes there, but I had signed with that manager that I was with for a short time.
Were you getting ready for the Samuel L. Jackson?
No, it wasn't even about the Samuel L. Jackson.
When you had a cool mustache for a while?
Yeah. No, what it was that I signed with this manager, and they were like, dude, you got to take acting classes. This is a big, important thing. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went over to check out this acting studio, and there was Paris. I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I don't know that we really...
Yeah, you were like auditing one of the classes, I think, and I was on my way out because like the teen class had just ended, and so I was on my way out. I'm actually, my best friend that I met in that class, like when I was like 12, 13, like he's still one of my close friends to this day.
Can you cry on demand?
I'd rather not, but like I can't.
It's possible. You think you can cry on demand?
How much you paying?
I've been trying to cry, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like watching like Legends of the Fall, and I see Brad Pitt cry. I'm like, dude, how?
Sometimes menthol helps. There have been times where I couldn't do it.
Menthol,
like they'll blow. Like that's what I did like a music video for a friend of mine, the 30 Seconds to Mars video, like a couple years ago, and I couldn't cry on command, so that one time, so they like blew menthol into my eyes.
And you,
Yeah, and let's be clear too that we're talking about like crying like as a performance
Yeah.
in acting, but what you're saying is that you have not cried in life.
I can't neither.
When's
I
the
can't cry. I cried like maybe like a week ago for like 10 seconds. And then I was like, dude, was that cool? Afterwards. And he's like,
right. Was that cool? This was your homework to try to cry with your therapist.
yeah. Because it gets stuck here. And I can't. Like, I'll just like, and then I'm like, nobody's around. I'm like, I look so stupid. And then I stop.
Have you tried breathworks?
No.
I feel like that might help.
I read that, but I'm like, I don't even want to like do breath work.
Why not?
Because I'd rather just like watch TikTok.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Maybe there's a way you can find a combination of the two.
Yeah, or menthol.
Or menthol, that works too.
Because like pain doesn't make me cry. Mm-hmm. Sadness doesn't make me cry. Being happy
What about
makes
beauty?
me teary-eyed.
Yeah, beauty.
Yeah.
Can make you cry.
I cry at Cirque du Soleil shows.
Do you really?
I swear I do. Like because I'm sitting there just thinking like I'm so moved by how totally radical like this talent is, and just like the possibilities for what humans are capable of doing is so moving to me that I can't stand how rad they are, and like I just start crying. But everybody's watching the show and nobody knows I'm crying, so I just kind of like, write it. But if I were to speak to anybody, they would be able to tell I was crying. But nobody knows. I cry in secret at Cirque du Soleil.
But are you like teary-eyed, or are you like?
I'm not audibly crying. It's like more like thank God I'm not in a conversation, because it would be so obvious I'm crying.
Wow.
There's a way to like just let the tears fall and keep it. I do that a lot. I cry a lot.
Really?
Actually, yes. Very like in tune with I try to be in tune with my emotions.
That's rad.
Yeah.
I remember. I think it was like. I think this is how it happened. That like they're like on some random like silly thing that I put on Instagram, I saw that there was like a comment from you underneath, and I just thought like, wow, like Paris Jackson follows me on Instagram, like what a trip, rad. And so then I followed you back, and then ever since then, every once in a while I'll see like, wow, she saw my post, like that's super cool. And that's why I was able to ask you if you would do this, because I knew you followed me, so I could send you a direct message. Yeah. And I think it's just it would fall under the counterintuitive like category to think that like I think we're an odd pairing is what I'm getting at.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty solid timing too. Like when you messaged me, I just so happened to have I don't check my DMs really like ever. I've actually had some of my close friends get upset because I don't text back. If people call me, I pick up. Or people want to see me, I'll show up. But like I'm horrible with texting and DMing, so. Man. It was like kind of by chance that I happened to see it.
Why?
We call it a God shot in my world. The universe intended for it to be
synchronicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder why people are bad at texting, because I respond pretty quickly.
I just don't want to. I don't want to be good at it.
But I take it personal when somebody doesn't. I'm like, dude, you took 3 hours.
I mean, the people in my life that. I feel like maybe should stay in my life are the type of people that are understanding of it. A lot of my friends like have kids and like lives, so they
don't care.
They also are like, oh, I want to see you too. I'll see you in November. Like, let's make plans 3 months away, because it's like we're both busy. We have things to do. I've got like a couple jobs and like traveling.
What about someone you're dating? What's the best way to get a hold of you there? I see you make time for that.
In a hypothetical, I don't know, like call me. I may pick up. If it's urgent, call twice. That's what I tell people.
Or if they text you?
I probably won't respond.
Ooh.
There was one girl that, like, this is a few years ago. We were fully seeing each other. I brought her as a date to, like, my cousin's wedding. She brought me as a date to one of her friends' wedding. Like, it was, like, going on for a while. And my way of showing up is I'll drive out to you. If you live in downtown and I'm living at Topanga, like I'll drive all the way, like a couple times a week. I don't mind, but I won't text you back. And at the end of the day, like that was the deciding factor of it. Just didn't work. Like she just didn't like that about me, and a few years go by and I wanted to like apologize and make it right, and then I ended up doing it again, and it's like it's so a part of who I am that I'd like to make things right and apologize, but it's kind of pointless to apologize for
behavior
for something that you're not going to change. So I could apologize and be like,
Were you guys living together?
no, we
I
lived
think
on opposite ends of town.
The fix is just move her in, and then you don't have to worry about shit.
At the time, I had like 5 roommates.
Oh.
And like 5 animals, so
I have
it's
that
like-
dynamic with our Jackass director, Jeff Tremaine. He never responds to texts, and it hurts my feelings every time. And then I'm like, ah, and I'll be like, ah.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. I'm like, but yeah, some people just don't want to be good at texting.
How do you guys feel about like voice memos?
Yeah, voice. A lot of people do that.
I'm the best texter in the world,
He really is.
Really?
but that's a problem.
He calls it ERT, his email response time, off the charts.
Like if you had a business and you wanted to go into business with them and you saw like their percentage of their ERT was like a high percentage, you're like, oh dude, I know they get back to me quick. You know? But if they have like a 40%, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to work with these people.
Should you do the voice memo thing?
No, because then if I listen to it and I don't respond and I lose it, my OCD will take over and I'm like, fuck, did I imagine that or did I really send it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right.
So I'm a texter.
So there was just the realizing that you followed me on Instagram. I got a real kick out of that. And then now that I reached out to you about doing this, like, I get the sense that you don't do a lot of interviews, that you're like, you know, like a fairly private person.
Yeah.
You keep
You don't text.
you keep a small
I just don't like
circle.
technology. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I do. I keep a small circle.
And I couldn't help but have this sense. I'm like, man, I feel like profoundly grateful, maybe even a little bit proud that I've turned into a guy that you would feel comfortable being like, yeah, come on, I'll come over and have a conversation on, you know, like there's like I feel like I've turned into, I've become a guy that like maybe that there's some kind of people feel there's a reason to trust me, like when they wouldn't even necessarily have any proof of that.
Yeah.
And it's rad.
Yeah. I try not to like judge people based off of what I see on their social medias and things like that, but I do for some reason have like a pretty decent intuition if I can like see a picture of someone and I can look at their eyes. It's like a good photo of their eyes and stuff. I can kind of get a general sense for what they'll be like in person, regardless of what the caption is, regardless of what filter they're using, like any of the whatever product they're selling. I can usually just look at the person's eyes and kind of get a. And yeah, you seem like a smart and like kind person, so.
Well, thank you.
Do you get a feeling or do you see colors? Like auras?
Yeah, see if I can see auras. I mean, if I tried really hard, I could probably, yeah. I mean, yours is kind of.
What's my
The
color?
trick is to look around the head, and yours is in front of something white, which makes it easier. I don't know, someone taught me this like years ago.
And so, what color do you see?
Kind of like blue-ish.
What about
The
Steve?
bluish green.
I'm like,
Yours is like a darker blue.
I'm like wondering like what the hell is going on, and I love how much Wendy loves you.
Well, look at that. Do you see any auras in Wendy?
She's a rainbow unicorn. I don't know. I mean, your eyes could just—I don't know if auras are real or if
I
it's
think
just
they
your
are.
eyes playing tricks on you. But if someone's standing in front of something white, I mean, you can kind of see something around their heads. But
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of unfocus your eyes and look for a color. And
Yeah, our buddy's mom like stare here, and then like the peripheral, like things pop up like a little like.
So that's like some clairvoyant kind of psychic.
Yeah.
Also, I learned that like some eyes can see more. I mean, there's obviously people that are colorblind,
Yeah.
but then there's also like more broader spectrums of color that some people can see and some people can't. And they like have certain tests online and stuff. And I did one, and apparently I can see more than average. I guess like my eyes pick up on different.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to vape in here? Is that
Go
okay?
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't linger.
We were just watching UFC fights with this this British superstar of the UFC named Paddy the Baddy,
Okay.
and he was fucking smoking spliff after spliff after spliff, and I was thinking to myself, God, I haven't subjected myself to this much goddamn pot smoke in my 14 years of sobriety. This cocksucker, I wish he would stop with the fucking weed. And I was that excited to be hanging out with him that I let it slide.
Yeah.
So you and your vape is totally cool.
Well, this is just nicotine. I don't think you can get contact high.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
No,
I don't
it's
think
vape.
that's yeah.
yeah, I don't.
I think all the nicotine goes into your lungs. And then,
Yeah, and we ended up just kind of moving across to the other side of the area, and it wasn't so bad. So we just welcomed you to my house, and thank you for coming here. And you had a pretty big reaction to my Motley Crue shirt. Mm-hmm. And you showed me that you have a Motley Crue tattoo.
I actually have two. I didn't show you the other one. The second one I have is
Wow.
oh shit.
Wow. You
Motley.
really are a hardcore Motley Crue fan.
yeah. In like freshman year of high school, I had that hair, the fucking Nikki Sixx hair, the layered jet black dyed. I looked like Joan Jett. Like it was, I've had like the big spiky bracelets that got confiscated at TSA because it's a weapon type thing.
Yeah.
Like I was a very angsty, like heavy metal '80s kid.
Dude, that's so epic. Yeah, I love that. So I was gonna tell you that when I was 13 years old, and I'll tell this quickly. Super Motley Crue fan. It was 1987, and I lived in Toronto, and they had their Girls, Girls, Girls tour. Mm-hmm. So the day before the concert, I saw on the news they were in some kind of trouble. They set a hotel room on fire, some weird shit. Mm-hmm. And it was on the news that they were like, these jerks are in our city doing this stuff. And I'm like just freaking out because I'm like, the concert's the next day. So I arrived at the conclusion that they're in a hotel, and like, I'm gonna fucking track them down. So I went running to my room to get the name of their manager from my album sleeves on the tape cassettes.
Okay.
And it was Doc McGee. And then I went running to the phone book, the Yellow Pages, and I called every single hotel in the Yellow Pages, starting at the top, and asking for a room. Please put me through to Doc McGee's room. And called for fucking hours and hours. And then I ultimately was patched through to a hotel room, and this guy answered the phone. I said, "Is that Doc McGee?" And he says, "No, this is Doc's brother, Scott." And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, "As in Motley Crue, is the crew there?" And he's like, "How'd you get this number?" And I told him I just called every hotel in the Yellow Pages. And he was like, "Man, that's fucking awesome. How would you like backstage passes for the show tomorrow night?" And so, and he gave me fifth row tickets. And so, yeah, I was 13 years old, and my dad took me, and we sat in the seats I got, and Dad took photos of me with Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx.
That is awesome.
What was your dad like? I can't imagine your dad like at the concert, fifth row.
I mean, Dad was just stoked. Like, the thing was that this was before they had like call waiting, so if you're on the phone, then the other person's just going to get a busy signal. There's no beep to click over and so I was tying up the phone. It was a Saturday. Dad was like watching football in the living room. Mom was annoyed that I was tying up the phone. Mom says, "Hey, stop tying up the phone." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm calling Motley Crue." My dad was kind of observing what was going on. He had never seen me quite so on fire for something. Like, he could tell I was turned on. I was like just driven in this thing, and that's all he ever wanted from me. I was just one bad report card after another, constantly in trouble, a fucking nightmare. Like, wake up, like, apply yourself, you fucking asshole. And here I was. And so Dad told Mom, like, "Honey, back off, like, he's calling Motley Crue," and Dad like allowed it. So the answer to your question, like, what was Dad like during the concert? He didn't fucking care. He was just stoked that his kid was on fire for something,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I described that whole experience as having kind of turned me into a monster, because there was nothing for me to say to Nikki Sixx or Tommy Lee, but the fact that I was standing next to my heroes because of just my pure will to do so, like, it was so empowering that, like, it really gave me the sense that I could, there's no limit to what I can accomplish if I really fucking go for it, and I feel strongly about that in life in general.
That is so rad. I was kind of around the same age when I first saw them play. Are you seeing them in like a week? I think they're playing like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Were they at the Staples Center?
I would. It was on my calendar for the longest time, but I'm on tour myself, so I head out for tour tomorrow.
Good for you. I'm sure they'll be back around.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, dude. I'm not tripping. It's all good, and I don't need to be in another fucking big marijuana cloud like I was with Patty the Patty.
Yeah.
Sure.
What kind of grades did you get in school? Did you get in trouble a lot? Did you not get in trouble?
It may not come as a shock to learn that when I was a kid, I found myself in a lot of hairy situations. But these days, not so much. Because it's so easy for me to have a nice, smooth, fresh, clean shave thanks to the good people at Harry's. Harry's brings us the best men's shaving products out there. I mean, the 5-blade razor that stays sharp for ages, and it's all so affordable, man. I remember back in the day when I was just throwing money away on gimmicky razors that vibrated, like heated up, like all this nonsense that was just totally unnecessary. And as soon as I switched to Harry's, I felt like just a cooler guy, man. Like, I don't need all the gimmicks and the bells and whistles. I got classy shaving products that work extremely well. I've never wanted to turn back. And by the way, I've been using Harry's for a long time, since before I got into business with them on this podcast. That's why they're one of my favorite sponsors of this podcast, and bless them for having such a wonderful deal for you guys. If you go to harrys.com/Stevo, you're going to get yourself a starter kit, which comes with the 5-blade razor, the travel case to protect the razor, the weighted ergonomic handle, the foaming shave gel, and a body wash. And this all comes in at a value of $16, but the listeners of the Wild Ride podcast will get it for just $3. How about that? That's worth becoming a Harry's customer. Just try it, because I did, and I loved it, and I've never turned back, and neither will you. Plus, it's going to save you a whole bunch of money. So one more time, go to harrys.com/Stevo to get this killer starter kit and become a Harry's loyalist like me. Yeah, harrys.com/Stevo. Now, let's hear about Paris when she was a kid.
You seem pretty mellow. Have you always been like this?
Yeah, just sadder. I was always pretty like kind of like stuck to myself. I was homeschooled for the first like 6 grades, and I did fine.
Yeah.
That way, I learned better when it's one-on-one or like with my brother.
For sure.
And then I went to like a private school in LA for a few years. I struggled there, in part because I just didn't have social skills. And then the other part of it was fully like my undoing. Like, I didn't like fitting in, and I enjoyed the things that made me look a little scarier, like the Motley Crue stuff and the combat boots with my uniform.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that. And I liked getting uniform violations. I liked getting detention. And so, you know, I had some struggles there, but a lot of it was like, I will take full accountability for it. Some of it was like out of my hands. And then I did all right in like the right-sided stuff of your brain, like the artsier stuff, yeah, and like language and things like that. Then Spanish, I was horrible at Spanish. But like the maths and science, I didn't do well in those. I would like just barely pass every year. And then I did like school in Utah for a couple of years, and then I finished early because I was done. So by the time I came back to LA, I was like, I want to finish a year early. I want to be done.
So you didn't play any sports in high school, or?
Nothing that I was like really like good at.
Yeah.
Like, I was like kind of decent at a few of them. Like volleyball was kind of just like easy because I'm tall. That's all you really for school sports. Like, yeah, all you really need is the height when it comes to volleyball.
Yeah, especially in high school. If you're tall, like you're taller than the most.
Yeah.
And on my dad's side of the family, I think it's like maybe my dad's cousin. My dad's cousin Jane Glover is this like super famous orchestra conductor lady, and at one point we were over in England and we went to see one of her shows, which was attended by the Royal Duchess of Kent, which is like this royal family lady. And I was just a little kid, and we met the Duchess of Kent, and she asked my sister, like, what do you do? Are you a musician as well? And and then the Duchess of Kent asked me, do you play anything? And I said, yeah, I play baseball.
That's funny.
It was, and I didn't think I was being funny, but yeah, I think that what made me think of that is that it's probably the other way around, where Scott's asking you, did you do any sports? And you were like, well, no, I played instruments.
Yeah.
Like I played music.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always been into the music thing. Mainly, like, it was just a hobby for a long time, and then in the last few years, I was just like, this is way more than a hobby. This is, like, a massive part of who I am as a person, and it's my favorite thing in the world, so...
Playing music.
Yeah.
What
Writing, playing, learning, anything involved. Like, I didn't read for a long time. I used to be an avid reader as a kid. I just recently, in the last few weeks, like, started picking up books again.
Ooh, I got a book coming out next month.
Really?
Yeah, my
Send me a
second
copy,
book.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I will.
What book made you want to get back into reading?
Ishmael.
Yes.
You
By
guys
Daniel
read it?
Quinn.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
by Daniel Quinn. I name it as my second most important book to read.
What's the first one?
Conversations with God, book 1 by Neil Donald Walsh.
I haven't read that. Okay,
Ooh.
wait. Where's my phone?
Yeah, what did he keep
Will you
calling-
message me and let
Sure.
me... That
Yeah.
is... Okay, so this...
Ishmael.
This is
Ishmael.
from Ishmael, this tattoo I have.
Don't you have an Ishmael tattoo?
I don't have an Ishmael tattoo, no.
This is from... So every time you hit a new chapter, there's a little bamboo thing.
Okay.
And every chapter, that's what that's from. That's so cool that you guys have read that. That's
Yeah.
my favorite book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an important book, because like to
It
read it
is.
is so like kind of depressing. Like you walk, like I remember like reading it and like walking through an airport and just thinking like none of this is supposed to be this way. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is fucking awful. Like we're the human race is such a not even
virus.
not like virus like a virus, but almost like just a cancer. You
Yeah.
know, like a cancer on the
Yeah.
world. Like. It's so, and it's such a wonderful way that book, just using this relationship between a gorilla and this kid, like, must that like have an earnest desire to save the world. Like, it's the most preposterous fictional novel with the most deep and real,
Yeah.
like wisdom about the dangers of humanity.
I don't mention the gorilla when I tell people about it that haven't read it.
Right.
I listened to the audiobook and the gorilla's voice was phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't read the... I really do. I don't listen to audiobooks.
It was
really.
like an interesting accent. I think it was like maybe even English, like if I
Okay.
can recall. But what was the book that got you into reading?
Book that got me into reading. I mean, I remember reading as a kid. Like,
But I hated reading as a kid, and
I
then
loved it as a kid.
There's a book that I loved as a kid called My Side of the Mountain. And there was this kid who ran away from home, lived in the mountains, like had this hollowed out tree.
yeah, I read that book in fifth grade.
And that book made me just so stoked to run away from home. Like, and what was extra rad was that this kid ran away from home, lived in a tree, like lived off the land, and then at the end, like his family fell on like terrible hard times, and they all like moved into trees with the kid who ran away from home. So he was like bailed his family out, and he was just like the man at the end.
That's
Fucking
cool.
Man.
What about your favorite book as a kid?
As a kid, I don't know. I read so much because that was like our form of currency growing up. Like my brothers and I, like my dad wanted us to.
Like trading books?
Well, not necessarily. So we weren't just like handed things. Like we lived life in like a silver spoon kind of way. Like we literally had everything. I never had to worry about like my next meal or roof over my head, whatever it was. Like I got to see the world, but things weren't just like the good stuff wasn't just like thrown at us. We had to like work for it. So our dad had us use like books as currency. So it's like, oh, if we're going to FAO Schwartz and you want 5 toys, well, you have to read 5 books and I will quiz you on it. And so I like read
Wow.
all 7 Chronicles of Narnia in a week. Like
Really?
I woke up at 6 a.m., read the first book, finished it by bedtime, and then next day did the same thing. And in 7 days, I finished the whole.
Shit.
And that was like, I got 7 toys. You know what I mean? Like that was that was
Yeah.
our currency. We like had to earn it. And books are like knowledge is power is what he used to say, and books hold
My
a lot
dad
of that.
said that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like, I was at some food drive, like to give food away, and some person there says like, oh, you know, you need to be saved by Jesus. And I was like, Dad, I'm just frustrated with this guy with his like. My dad's like, well, the next time someone does that, like, you know, ask them, you know, this question about like the original Greek scriptures and how the Bible was translated from Greek and the what was lost
Aramaic
in
to Greek, from Greek
right.
yeah.
And my dad just he was like, you know, asking this question, I bet you they won't have the answer, and knowledge is power. And I was like, yeah, rad.
Ask them how old the Earth is. And they'll say 8,000 years old.
I articulated that really poorly. But there was another person who left some comment like, "Oh man, you know, like you need to be saved by Jesus." And I wrote back. I replied to this person, said, "Yeah, you know, you're totally right, but I'm just gonna like wait and for later." You know, and Jesus can save me later, and I know that like when I accept him later, that will wash away all the bad stuff I do between now and then. So it's all cool, and Jesus rules.
Yeah.
Which was just a dickheaded thing for me to do. It was kind of an asshole comment to leave, but
Was this like a YouTube comment?
yeah, and I can't
Don't
help.
encourage them.
I know, I can't
Sometimes
help
I
it.
can't help it.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
No, but every now and then I'll see. I go on Twitter like maybe once a month. Because like I don't really do the DMs and things like that, but like once a month, maybe once every other month, I'll just like go on there and see what's up. And every now and then, things are just like too good to not respond to.
Yeah, but you're probably responding to a bot.
Sometimes it's a little too specific to be a bot. So one of them, my favorite one that I actually had retweeted and pinned on my profile was someone was
Wow,
like, "Do you have?"
pinning it,
Yeah,
that's
I
epic.
retweeted it and pinned it. It was just a message where someone was like, "Do you have any idea how much of a disappointment you are to your family?" And I was just like, this is just, I like retweeted it and pinned it.
Dude,
It's
I,
hard
But
not
did
to.
you retweet with comment or?
I retweeted it with, did you guys see those like videos where people are, it's like this narration with the Arctic Monkeys song, and it's like, have you ever been beaten by your girlfriend with a wet spaghetti noodle because she has a twin sister and you got confused and fucked her dad? Well, that's how it feels to drive a Ford F-150. It's like this like narration, and I just retweeted that with that narration as like a response.
Wow. That's
I've always wanted to do it like a show where you get you find the meanest comment on one of your things.
right, with like what they do on Kimmel, like mean tweets with Jimmy Kimmel.
but there's a team of hackers. It's a TV show. There's a team of hackers that finds the IP address, go to the house, and then the guy comes home, and then Chris Hansen's in the kitchen like, please have a seat, and then you read the tweet and just like, you said this thing to me, and why would you say that? Like, it really hurt my, or whatever. Just exposed who the person is.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels even more invasive.
Invasive than them hoping that you die of cancer and you're a piece of shit.
Right, but at least
I've
you're
gotten
not.
some gnarly stuff like
I mean,
that.
it's but it's like, but why would somebody go that deep? And it's like, I want to
Right.
see who said that. Like, what's going on, bud?
Yeah.
If it's super creative, then I almost respect them. You know, like there's some really creative ones.
If it's funny, of course.
Or there's some ones that like flow very nicely. Like if you read it out loud, the way like calling someone a sick bitch, like the way that
Easy.
phonically sounds.
But like if
is
somebody's like,
oh, that's nice.
if somebody says like, you know, something so fucking dark, it's like, bro,
right.
where does that come from?
Yeah.
Right.
How?
You could just respond and tell them that they need Jesus.
Yeah.
That's true too.
The best is if you just respond TLDR.
I don't know what that means.
Too long,
Too
didn't
long,
read.
Oh.
And then they'll respond and you just keep saying TLDR and they lose their shit.
Oh my god, that's so good. It's so good. It made me forget what I was thinking. Yeah, I know what it was. There's a couple times where I was like, man, I felt like resentful towards somebody, and like I felt the urge to like speak out negatively, like about like whatever I was feeling resentful about. And then what has stopped me from doing that is thinking to myself, would Tony Hawk ever do that? Like, no, God, no. Tony Hawk would never like publicly speak out like negatively about somebody so as to tarnish their reputation.
So
like,
you're more like WWTH.
yeah, WWTH. What would Tony Hawk do? And then as it relates to dealing with negative comments, it's all about what would Dana White do. Dana White is just so unfucking phased by any negative fucking comment.
You moron.
He's like, you fucking stupid asshole, fuck up. You know, like, and I want to be more like Dana White, and I want to be more like Tony Hawk.
Wow.
Yeah, no negativity, and just not affected by negativity either. Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's
Right.
I mean, sometimes you get high off of it because you're like blood. You get a little rush.
Right. But let's talk more about your music. Like, do you have a full album out?
I have. Yeah, my debut album came out end of 2020. So I did
Okay.
all of that during like COVID. Like flew to Georgia, made a whole record in like 2.5 weeks, and then within like a couple months it was out.
Wow. And what's your record label? I understand.
I'm
you
with
said-
Republic. Yeah.
Republic,
So
okay.
well, I made the album before I signed with them, and then I got a meeting with Monty, one of the record executives, and
the A&R.
the whole department and things like that. And I met with him, and I played him the whole album, and he wanted to hear it like in track order, and I was like, "You sure you want to sit with me for 45 minutes and like listen to all of this?" He's like, "Yeah, play it for me." So I stuck the burned CD in, and I played it for him. He's like, "All right, cool. So when do we start? Like, when do we sign?" And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
"Oh, awesome." And then and since then I've put out like a couple singles and like a short folk EP, and I've been working on some other stuff with a few friends
Cool.
that I'm excited to put out.
I saw you perform music on Jimmy Fallon's show on your Instagram.
That was awesome.
It was a stellar performance. To look at it, you might think that Paris really takes care of herself. And to look at me, you would think I am definitely taking care of myself. Can you believe I'm 48 years old and killing it on a skateboard, roaming around all over the world in just tip-top shape? And a big part of the reason for that is Athletic Greens. That's right, man. It's because my diet has no gaps, because they're all filled in with AG1 from Athletic Greens. And what is that? Well, it's the most convenient, comprehensive daily nutrition. Comes in a packet or a big thing with a scoop, and it is delicious. It's loaded with 75 different vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens. It helps with your brain health. It makes you think better. It helps with your gut health. It fills in the gaps of your diet so that you've got all the nutrition you need. Plus, it tastes delicious, and it just makes you healthier and happier. Plus, if you go to athleticgreens.com, well, if it's your first time, then you're going to get 5 free travel packs with the comprehensive, convenient daily nutrition, plus an entire year's supply of immune-boosting vitamin D. That is a big, generous offer from the good people at Athletic Greens, and it is available to you if you go to athleticgreens.com/Stevo. I'm telling you, it's time to jump on top of your health, and that starts with your diet. So, one more time, athleticgreens.com/Stevo, and get that deal. Now, let's talk about Fallon. Yeah.
That was so fun. I'm usually like I'm my harshest critic, so sometimes I'll see videos of like performance that I just did, and I'm like not nice to myself. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Why
sure.
I could have been better there." The Fallon one was one of the only ones where I'm just like, no, I'm satisfied with that. Like I'm actually
You were fucking
that
feeling
wasn't
it,
bad,
you were
and
going
I felt
for it, and
I felt
you're at
good.
it.
Yeah, I felt good. There's a lot of I've learned too that like especially with the way I'm singing now, I kind of have stopped with the sounding like how I think I'm supposed to sound, because I did that for a long time, just using a prettier, softer voice, and now I'm just sounding like me, and that, in a Bright Eyes, Conor Oberst kind of way, is not a tone that a lot of people love. It's like
In a Bright Eyes,
you know the band Bright Eyes? Like
I know.
They're like early 2000s, but like the guy's voice, he's one of my favorite singers. He's one of my favorite artists. Some people aren't like a huge fan of like the tone that he uses and how he sings, and same thing with the band Future Islands. Like I love kind of just like it's different. It's not like a conventionally good voice. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not like hitting a wrong note, but the way they sound is just not what people. You're not going to hear it on like a mainstream radio station because it's just not as digestible. That's what I'm looking for. It's not as digestible.
Like if I were to sing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so I just like, I don't know, it's more, I'm using a tone that feels more authentic to myself, and that's not something that people love all the time. So the Fallon thing definitely was, I got some blowback with how I'm singing now, which is fine.
Just negative comments. Do you get nervous before you perform?
Oh, yeah.
Because here, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Steve makes me do stand-up for him sometime. And, like, I got to go somewhere else 20 minutes before the show. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I'm so nervous. I'm pacing. And Steve's just, like, you know, on a FaceTime call right before he gets up. He's running late, and he's just, like, he doesn't, not bother at all. Mm-hmm. And I even looked at, we checked his heart rate before a show. Mine's, like, 165, 170, like, it's jacked. He's just like, it's 58. Like,
How long have you been doing it?
6 months. I hate it.
Okay.
I don't, you know.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for a long time.
But how long have you been doing it? You've been doing it for a while.
So, if I'm about to play a show that's like a small hotel cafe kind of thing, and it's just me and my acoustic guitar, no nerves whatsoever. Nerves. Because I've been doing for a long time. I've been playing in like tiny local venues and like doing whatever like for a while now.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten very comfortable with that.
Like Phoebe Buffet.
Pardon?
Phoebe Buffet.
I don't know.
That's from Friends, the girl who used to play in the cafe.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The cat, she sings a cat song. I don't know too much about Friends, but I know that there's like a cat song. Yeah, so that I've been doing for a long time. For me, a long time. But the having a band and like doing like the louder stuff is pretty brand new. So playing a festival like Boston Calling, there were like, by the end of my set, there was like, I think over 1,000 people in the... like my section of the audience, which was for me a lot of people, and I was so nervous beforehand, and like I get nauseous. I have to take like a Pepto or a Tums.
For sure.
Are
you like, don't talk to me, just leave me alone?
I'll shit my pants. No, I like to huddle with my band.
Really?
Like my before show. If I'm really nervous, I'll huddle with them, and I love my band. They're all like, they've been doing this for a while. They're like hired guns. They play in a lot of bands together, cool. And they're older than me too, so they can like calm my nerves. They're like, you know what you're doing, like we got you.
Yeah.
I definitely can be nervous, like especially like, you know, taping a special, like that'll make me super nervous. Like even like taping like you know, just taping the show to important people, or if there's important people at the show, like anything that kind of raises the stakes of the show will give me nerves. And I remember too, I had this crazy experience, like it's kind of inappropriate for me to share, but I was the speaker at a big 12-step meeting. And I remember being really nervous getting up to speak in front of like whatever it was, like 100, 150 people. Super nervous, and I remember going directly from there to go sit down with Mark Maron on the Mark Maron podcast, and all of a sudden now I'm speaking to like fucking millions of people, and I was so totally like just sitting there with Mark Maron talking on the microphone, like no nerves at all, and it was millions of people listening compared to where I had just been so nervous in front of like 100 people. So
well, it's funny the way you show your nerves, because I've seen you two instances I can recall being nervous. The first time was when you filmed your Guilty as Charged, and when you walked out in the audience, and it was, I think it was just so overwhelming that like you took a beat for extra longer than you should have, you know, and it was kind of like a lot to take in, and then when we showed the skyjacking bit in Miami with your dad in the audience, and you came over and you were just like giggling, you know, you're just like, oh dude, like I just thought that was interesting, of like a display of the same emotion but two different ways.
Yeah, I've got a really ridiculous show that I tour with called the Bucket List Show, and it's a multimedia show where I talk about like just the craziest ideas that I ever had, and I never thought I would actually do them, but then I did. And so I show the footage of these things happening, and one of the things is called skyjacking where I literally go skydiving for the first time ever, completely naked, with another man strapped to my back, and masturbate to completion, and simultaneously fall out of the airplane as I'm ejaculating all over the place.
So he's got his dad in the audience,
And I
his
showed it to my
wife,
dad.
his sister, their friends, their family, and we knew it was coming. We're just like, oh shit!
That was enough to make me nervous.
That's awesome, though.
Well,
When
thanks.
was this?
When did I do it? It's been a few years since we actually taped that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the first things we taped for the Bucket List show. It's all pretty high level stuff.
Wow.
Like super
Yeah.
over the top stuff that I would never have been able to do for Jackass. And
calling around to the different companies to let us do that was interesting.
it was
in
a
itself.
challenging bit. Yeah, it was a wildly challenging bit. So when you're, I was thinking about, like, you were describing being homeschooled and you're sort of like, I pictured it sort of in general, you're not like a super extroverted person, you're kind of quiet, like, and then I wonder how much that's at odds with just getting out on stage and just rocking and like letting it loose.
I can be very extroverted. I can be but I have a meter. Like I can, at times be like the life of a party. I know how to network. I know how to strategize. A big part of like being in the fashion industry as well as the music industry is making appearances and meeting people
Right.
and talking to people, making friends. And so I'm able to turn that on. But I'm definitely, for the most part, like very, very introverted. I can be very extroverted with like a small group of people as well.
Right.
That's a lot easier and that's more organic.
Uh-huh.
It depends on the audience, though. If I'm
Right.
performing, like how big I'm gonna go, it depends
Yeah.
on the audience. Like for the Boston show that I just did, that was wild because it was the biggest stage I've ever played. Like the size of it, like I was able to run top speed back and forth, and that I had never done before. But it just like it happened, and like the audience was feeling it, and I was feeling it, and I'd never performed like that so far. That was like the first time like really giving it that much energy, and I saw like a good portion of the audience all like moving their heads like this in sync with each other, and I'm like, okay, most of these people have never heard my music before, and I'm getting them to have this kind of reaction. That feels great. That hypes me up. I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna make it bigger, and I'm gonna yell louder, and I'm gonna like really project. But then there have definitely been times where people are just like not feeling the set, or like
So you're kind of feeding off the crowd and what their energy is, and so it either it goes kind of one direction or the other.
yeah. I mean, one of the last tour that I went on, one of the first shows that we did, I was opening up for this kind of like a bluesy John Mayer-y kind of dude. I don't want to like compare him to another artist, but that's what it makes me think of. And we were in Vegas. We were like the small venue in Vegas, and it was like on the outskirts of Vegas too, so it wasn't where like the party is. And it was like a relatively empty venue because they're not here for me. They're here for the guy that they bought the tickets for. Like I'm just the opener. So that was just like kind of like a dead show, and I was like looking over at my guys. I'm like, all right, let's power through. Like let's get through this. So it depends.
So talk to us about the fashion industry.
What do you want to know?
I feel like I've seen you kind of in that.
How many
What
countries
vibe?
have you been to because of fashion?
Because of fashion?
Like, yeah, how many countries have you been to their fashion week?
Only.
For sure, France.
Oh yeah, that's the one that I
Milan.
go to. That's my go-to is Paris Fashion Week. I try and go twice a year. I still have yet to go to Milan Fashion Week. That's a bucket list for sure. And then I've done London a couple times and New York a few. And when I first started like 6 years ago, I did New York Fashion Week a lot because I was with Calvin Klein.
So when you started 6 years ago, in what capacity did you start? Modeling?
Yeah, I first started with the modeling, like doing
runway.
No, actually, my debut runway, like proper Fashion Week runway, was walking for Gaultier in Paris Fashion Week right before COVID hit, and it was Jean-Paul Gaultier's final show as a designer before like doing like this whole retiring thing, like 50 years in the business, and it was huge. I remember like going to the casting and like doing it and being so nervous because I've done like auditions and castings for acting and fashion and been told no before, because I'm well aware of like my platform and how my name can get me into a room, but whether I get the job, that's dependent upon like, am I capable of it? And you know, Versace's told me no before because my walk just wasn't it. Like I just didn't have the walk yet, and that crushed me. But then when I went to the casting and I got the Gaultier gig, like that was like, so it felt really good, and I knew that a massive part of that I had earned, and I was able to do it, and I didn't trip. I was wearing like 6-inch wedge heels, and
Does that happen a lot? People tripping?
yeah, especially in like the shoes that I was in. Like there's stairs sometimes on the runway, so if you it's a lot easier to fall if there's stairs and you're wearing like 6-inch like stilettos or wedges. And
Yeah.
I feel like if you do a YouTube search for like models eating shit on the runway, there's probably like mass compilations.
Yeah, so many people. I feel like everyone falls at least once. I feel like that's pretty. It's got to be a rite of passage.
You fell?
I have not yet. Though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it can happen.
Are you even a model if you haven't fell?
No.
That's epic. And so when you're doing this like high level fashion stuff, is it like it's got to be obnoxiously lucrative, huh?
What do you mean?
Like to walk the runway for Gaultier, like is there like a bunch of money that comes with that?
I think it depends on the person, and it depends on. I mean, I got like a standard rate, right? They usually depends on the brand.
Okay.
Depends on the brand. Some I'm sure you walk for free. Some of them it's like they'll pay
Keep
you a
the
lot.
clothes.
No, you never get to keep the clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like
all,
maybe
especially that
was-
Gaultier one. A lot of it was archival, which is like some of it's like priceless.
Yeah, like Kim Kardashian wearing the Marilyn Monroe dress.
Yeah, that's like that's a very like priceless kind of piece.
Yeah.
I have one of my favorite things that I own is one of Lee Alexander McQueen's designs from his fall winter collection in 2007, and I like wore it in a music video and I ended up buying it. It ended up like fitting me perfectly, which usually never happens because I'm not sample size. So the fact that it like fit me was like really exciting. And
Sample size is like a fit model.
it's like the sample size is like the standard that they usually design for, and then you can tailor it once it's been.
Is that the same size as a mannequin?
Yeah.
Not to be
yeah, that
rude
would
if
be
I
no,
don't
that
know.
would be sample size. Yeah. So there have been times where I have fit into sample size before, and also every brand's different. Like YSL sample size is a lot smaller than like say Gaultier.
YSL for the people who maybe don't know is Yves Saint Laurent.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're saying Gaultier, and I'm thinking about the song "Somebody I Used to Know." That's like I'm like, oh, cool.
Spells a little different. Sounds the same though.
Sounds the same.
Yeah, it's
Gaultier.
the same.
So you get the music is popping off, the fashion is popping off. Have you where's the acting at?
Acting's cool. I've done a few like cool things that I'm proud of. Nothing as of super. I mean, I did something in April. It's not out yet. But nothing on the horizon right now. So far.
Right.
We'll see.
And like in the digital, of course you have the Instagram, but these
The Instagram.
Good, but you don't you don't have your own YouTube channel or anything.
I do. I'm not the one that runs it though.
Okay.
Same with like Facebook.
Okay.
The Facebook.
The Facebook.
I haven't used the Facebook since I was like 17. I used to have like my own personal account, and now there's like a main account that's run by a team.
So for the YouTube, the YouTube that gets run by somebody else, what kind of stuff goes on your YouTube channel?
Like the music videos and stuff, lyric
Okay.
videos for like my music and things like that. It's mainly music focused.
Okay.
My Kimmel performance, my Fallon performance.
And have you made music videos for your songs that are just like legit?
Yeah, there's a few. The first really big one was to promote my debut album, and that one was wild because we had like Eli Roth consulting, and the chick that did the ballroom scene in Beauty and the Beast, she was our like main choreographer. Those people, like that team was our
Beauty
main.
and the Beast with the chick from Harry Potter.
Yeah, we had like a remarkable team, and we did it all in like one night. It was like one of the bigger budget ones, and it was like a short film, and I was so proud of that one. My heart gets ripped out at the end, and you can like see it beating, and I'm like bleeding on the floor. It's very dramatic, and I learned how to waltz for that video. Like it was a whole. I
Cool.
took lessons. that one was super fun. And then one of the more like mellow ones was a duet that I did with like my hero, and it was more like we were playing with light and photography, and I was like creative director, and I specifically asked for like someone that is more of an expert with photography as opposed to directing, because I wanted to like play with light and silhouettes and like chopping up our faces and putting them together kind of thing, not in like a gory way but in a editing way.
I still can't get past your heart being ripped out and it's beating.
I'll send it to you after I leave here. It's
like it's your heart is ripped out by presumably by a hand, and it's a hand holding a heart that's beating.
It's like my lover in the video.
Wow. And do you find that with your music videos on YouTube that the viewership on it is just like insanely high? Like, I mean, in general, I think music videos on YouTube get like a ton of views.
I think it depends on the artist. Like, I've gotten like, I don't know. I think that video, the Heart one, maybe has 2 or 3 million.
Okay.
Which is significantly lower compared to like a lot of artists
Right,
out
right.
there
Well,
right
Post
now.
Malone's getting like 999.9 million.
Yeah,
Right,
some
right.
people get billions. I'm not by any means like a super like well-known musician. Like, my music isn't like
Right.
super well known. I have a couple like friends that are in local bands and stuff, and I'm in the same like monthly listener category as like a lot of my like local
Right.
LA band friends.
You notice too as well that with the music videos on YouTube that it's not even YouTube, it's like Vivo.
Yeah.
Vivo, so like
I don't really know like the difference.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't know the difference.
Maybe they bought
either.
Vivo out and they just get all the money for it.
Yeah.
If you can drive traffic of everybody listening to one song of yours that's out right now, which song would that be?
Adagio, but people, it's less of a song and more of a demonstration. It's like over 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
Okay, and
It's longer.
that's got its own YouTube link.
Yeah, there's like a dark lyric video attached to it. I did it with my favorite band in the world, so that was very exciting for me.
Well, what's your favorite band in the world?
Manchester Orchestra. They're like my
Wait,
all-time.
what
Yeah.
orchestra?
Manchester Orchestra.
Oh, Manchester. I thought that.
You're thinking Manchester United.
I was thinking
fucking-
the Mahavishnu Orchestra, which
I
is
don't
John
know them.
McLaughlin, this jazz musician I like.
You like jazz?
Yeah. I mean, I've liked it in the past. A lot, you know,
Pat
like
Metheny?
Pat Metheny, George Benson, Earl Klugh, John McLaughlin.
Fucking guy. He picked me up one time and he's listening to this and I'm like, what are you listening to? He's like, Jim Benson. And I'm like, he's like, no, he used to perform with Earl Klugh. I'm like, excuse me? Like,
I'm fully.
yeah, exactly. The only reason I know those names is because Steve listens to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a weird guy. What do you want?
No, I just thought it was funny
Yeah.
because you were like, yeah, it's a no-brainer.
So for you know, like we put this podcast out on like every audio platform that podcasts exists, and then we have YouTube as well. And it's like for the YouTube version, we can put in the description YouTube links to these songs, so that
Okay, sweet.
anybody consuming this on YouTube can just go to the video description and find the links. We got to put the Beating Heart in there.
Sure.
Yeah, the heart
Done it.
ripped out, and then the Adagio one.
Adagio one. That one's so far my favorite song of mine that's like out. Partially because like literally my favorite band. I did it with them, but also because it's just if I don't know if you guys are Radiohead fans, but they're like another favorite of mine.
Isn't Radiohead the band that like reformed with like practically the same lineup as a different name?
The Smile. That's the new. Yeah, it's Johnny and Tom from Radiohead. They're like doing like a.
And weren't they something before they were Radiohead?
They
Stereo
have
face.
a lot of. They have I mean, I know Tom York does like a lot of different side projects. Like he also has one called like Atoms for Peace, which is solid, and he does stuff under Tom York. He did the entire like soundtrack for Suspiria, like the remake of Suspiria, which is like a fantastic soundtrack. And another one you can throw in there. It's not a YouTube link, it's a Netflix thing, but it's a 15-minute short film that Tom York did with Paul Thomas Anderson to support Anima, which was like an album of his. One of the greatest pieces of work I've ever seen in my
That
entire
sounds
life.
like it doesn't have anything to do with you, though.
No,
You're
it
just
doesn't.
a fan of it.
I'm just a fan, and
So
I
yeah,
want.
we're not putting that in there.
I'm just trying to get Tom
We
York
want
to love it.
Adagio.
I just want Tom York to love me.
What
gotcha.
what does Adagio mean?
Adagio in slow tempo. It's so I'm like here like low key shitting on jazz. I listen to classical music. I grew up listening
She has
to
like
classical
minor in
music.
jazz in college.
No, Adagio for Strings by Samuel Barber is one of my favorite songs, and it's it was kind of, the title of it was like kind of homage to Samuel Barber, who's like a fantastic composer. But I grew up listening to some classical, and sometimes I still listen to it.
Yeah, right on. It was a motorcycle that you rode here?
This is a scooter. It's not
It's
a
like a Vespa.
Yeah, it's a little piglet. I will one day get a hog, but right now it's just a little piglet.
Man, my girl, like owned a motorcycle, and I was like, you gotta get rid of that fucking thing. Like, it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
How far did you drive that thing?
I've taken it up to Topanga from, like, around this area before.
Yeah, because I have a motorcycle, and it's like, it's rough to ride that thing. If it's not like I bought a Royal Enfield.
No shit?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the one that I want to get. I want to get a Royal Enfield.
I rode around India, which, by the way, got picked up on Indie
Yeah, dude. When did that happen?
I signed the contract like last week, and so they're going to air it on IndieFlix. It's a pay-per-view. I rode a motorcycle around India for a month.
Sweet.
And then I've like filmed myself going to different like ashrams and meditation places. And then I loved it so because I rode a Royal Enfield over there that I bought one when I got home, and I just keep it at the warehouse and I ride it around. But if it's like a 499 cc, and if you're riding at Topanga, like it's a bitch to ride on the freeway. You know, if it's not like a powerful one,
up and down the hills,
and like there's so much that can go wrong. But and so I try to like just take it for a driver. I remember I was riding from Malibu to here, and I was, my helmet was all fucked up, and the little face shield, the hinge came off, and it swung around, and I was going so fast that my face went like this, and I couldn't see, and so I it's like you have to not panic, and you slow down, but like, and then like go slow enough to turn your face in. But it's so crazy because there's so many fucking things that can go wrong on a motorcycle, but it's fun lane splitting.
It's a blast. It's funny. Royal Enfield is the one that I really, really want to get. My rock climbing buddy has one, and I've ridden on the back of it.
What kind does he have?
I don't know the exact model, but I know it's one of the rare ones that they only made for 2 years, and then only a few were shipped out.
Is it a cool color?
It's gorgeous. It's like silver with like black and yellow.
Yeah, I think that's the bullet. It's the
beautiful.
I got the baby blue.
It's funny that all of my other friends that ride, including my brother, they all ride Harleys. Mm-hmm. And being like an 80s heavy metal fan, like that's the one that I've always wanted up until recently. Like I rode on the back of an Enfield, and I'm like, I think this is.
You tell him it's the Harley of India, babe.
It's funny. He told me, my climbing buddy's like, look, you'll go somewhere on Sunset Boulevard, and there'll be a row of Harleys lined up. Yeah. But no one's going to comment on any of the Harleys if they see Royal Enfield. 100%. They'll always comment on that.
Everybody always says something about mine. And I walked out, I rode it to somewhere one time, and I walked out, and some guy had his dog on there. He was taking a picture of it, and like the nails were digging into the seat. I'm like, what do I do here? It was kind of like a pause. It's like, okay, the guy's taking a picture, but then you see the thing's nails digging into the leather, and I'm like,
what kind of dog was it?
Chihuahua?
Let me push back a little bit here.
Okay, Mr. Animal, right.
If the dog is small enough to be sitting on a motorcycle seat, presumably it's not heavy enough for its nails to do damage to the seat.
You tell me, because the thing was just like, and then he picked it up, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And
Chihuahuas just shake. That's just how they are.
Okay, and then when he pulled it out, the leather came with his fingernails. No. So it's like if I was like well,
I think it's less about the dog and it's more about the person. I've learned that some people in the world, and you can sometimes tell when you meet someone just right off that they've never been slapped. Yeah. Some people just have never gotten their ass beat before, and you can tell.
Wow, I had a dream that I got beat up in my dream, like last night. How I got the fucking crap beat out of me.
Do you ever like try and like punch back, but it feels like you're punching in like underwater? Yeah, Jello.
I had a dream the other night, and I don't really dream that much, that some guy was just like putting things in my hand in prison to keister, and it was a pager, and it was a broken in half pager, like the clip was off, and I'm like, in your dream, I gotta put this up and then like I woke up, and then I
imagine it's a premonition. It's like
oh fuck, dude, don't even start that.
Scott's
I have weird dreams. Like there's some dismemberment, and then Jar Jar Binks pops up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden like Tweety's there, but Tweety turns into Big Bird from Sesame. It's like weird stuff happens in my dreams.
How often do you dream?
Every night.
Do you dream every night, Steve?
I would say so, yeah. And you know what? I think that I've been taking melatonin like a lot. I take melatonin like every night. And I'm finding that melatonin really like makes dreams more.
Vivid.
Yeah.
But I dream twice every 6 months. Like, I don't remember.
You take
Do you write 'em
melatonin
down?
like crazy.
No. Yes.
You write them down?
Nah.
I write them down. They're
Wow.
weird.
Do you think they mean
Sometimes
something?
I'll like pull them out, huh?
You think they mean something?
You know, there have been a few times, especially in the last like year and a half, and this could just be me looking to make it a reality, but there have been times where I have like deciphered it, or like what's it called when you
Interpret.
Yeah, so I've done the interpreting thing, and it ends up being like extremely accurate in like a spooky way. And sometimes I'll like double check with my friends, just be like, am I crazy? So I'll like, if I have a dream that feels like it might mean something, I'll tell someone, and then in like a week or two, if that thing ends up coming true, I'll hit up that friend and be like, yo, guess what happened? And then I'll have like a kind of like a person to go off of, just so I know I'm not like insane. But much like witchcraft or tarot cards or dream interpretation, all the things, like, I don't know how real it is. Like, it could be me literally just manifesting it, law of attraction style, and me, like, it just being the power of the mind. It could be that it's real, or it could be that I'm just making it all up and it's not actually real. But I do know that there are results, and I've seen results, so it doesn't really matter to me whether it's real or not. If I'm seeing results and it feels good, then I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I feel like dreams are like you're living out you in another multiverse. You know, it's like some kind of shit going down.
Well, what's interesting is my dreams are so real that like I can feel the facial hair on someone, I can smell their cologne, I can like, it feels just as real as this. But I feel like the only reason why I consider this to be reality is because this one lasts longer. Like, this one is the most consistent one.
Yeah.
But like, some of my dreams are just as real as this. They're shorter.
Really?
And yeah.
I would agree with all of that, just except for the fact that there's just so much like negative bullshit that goes on in my dreams a lot of the time, like, and there's also like just so much abstract, like, just shit that doesn't make any sense, that like
Just a floating baby.
Right, for me to give
nowhere.
weight, for me to lend credibility to the things that happen in my dream, and like ascribe to that some kind of meaning, like, I just would be lending credibility to some negative shit a lot of the time that I don't even want to entertain.
Yeah. That's
There's a lot of negative stuff in this
Yeah.
reality too, though.
You're right about
Not
that.
to turn it back to Ishmael, but that's
Right.
like,
YouTube
sure.
comments.
pardon?
YouTube comments.
YouTube comments.
Right, yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's probably just as much negative in both worlds. That
When did you read Ishmael?
Recently.
Recently,
Very
okay.
recently.
And you know, there's a second one.
I have it, actually. I finished the book that I was reading today, and I planned on, after I leave here, starting the story of B.
story.
Just-
The story of B, it's the
Yeah,
second
the
one. I was
story
going to
of
start
B.
it tonight after I left here.
You know, I started the story of B and didn't didn't ever really get the momentum going with it. The story of B starts with the phenomenon of locks. Is that right?
I don't know.
I haven't
started yet.
But I remember in Ishmael,
Yeah.
he kept saying "buana," and I kept listening. He's like, "Yes, buana," and he said it throughout the whole audiobook that it drove me so nuts that I pulled over to a Barnes and Noble and found the book and read, and he kept calling the guy buana. It's like BWANA,
Yeah.
which is like a sign of respect in
Oh, wow.
African cultures.
Okay.
It's just such a fascinating book.
Yeah, I gotta give you my book. I've got two now. My first one came out in 2011, and New York Times bestseller, 5-star
Really?
rating on Amazon. It's like my proudest shit that I ever made. And now my second book comes out next month on September 27th.
Can people pre-order that, Steve?
They can pre-order it, and if you pre-order it, that's the way to get an autographed copy of the hardcover when it's new. It's like my little trick to try to sell pre-orders.
Where can they pre-order it?
At Steve-O.com, right at the top of the website, you can
He's good at this.
yeah.
I just
I'm
threw
good
him
at
up a
this.
softball.
Dude, I love that, man. Thank you. So
welcome.
yeah, I would love to share that with you. That'd be super cool.
Yeah,
Do you have
me
any
too.
tours coming up?
Yeah, I'm going on tour with the Revivalists, which is super exciting.
And where can people buy tickets for this?
On the Revivalists website. I think they're on my website too.
Cool. And your website is?
Let me look it up. I don't know. I'm telling you, man, I'm not like a technology person. I'm not really
That's great.
good with all this stuff. Let's see. What's my website? There's a... Nope, this is a pre-save link. I don't know. Maybe just on my Instagram or That works.
Cool.
All right. So maybe link in bio.
Yeah.
Yeah, link in bio. Something
Yeah,
like that.
link in bio on the Instagram.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that that we can draw attention or traffic to?
Adagio.
Adagio.
We need everybody who's consuming this on YouTube to get into the video description and consume these 2 music videos.
Yeah. I did a music video recently for my latest single, Lighthouse, but I also have another single coming out relatively soon-ish.
And when you do consume these music videos that you find in the video description, then we want them to also subscribe to the channel on which those videos live.
They can do that if they
And ring the bell so you can be the first to know about future video uploads.
Yeah.
And
leave a couple hateful comments.
Yeah, fuck, you'll pin them on your Twitter. I like when you ask the guest the same question that Mike Tyson asked you. That's a special one.
Yeah, Mike Tyson at the end of the podcast, he said, these cameras, they're millions of people. Like, while you have their attention, what do you want them to know?
That's heavy, man.
It's heavy.
That's heavy.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by it. I forget what I even said.
It takes you back because you're like, yeah.
You know what?
I'll answer for you.
Yeah, because I want to run this by you. It's something that I feel really strongly about and I love, and it's kind of my mantra in life, which is that to be successful, is something that most everybody wants. And when we think about what makes people successful, intelligence is helpful, right? Talent is useful. But intelligence and talent are absolute chicken shit compared to enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the engine which drives like everything that matters, everything that makes one successful.
Motivation and willingness.
Yeah, enthusiasm. And if you break down enthusiasm to its Greek or Latin roots, what you have is en theos, which means with God. So when you're fucking on fire, when you're passionate, when you're enthusiastic, like you're doing God's work.
I have a fun fact for you.
Okay.
So the word inspiration in Greek is translated to God's breath.
Wow.
But breath in Hebrew is the same word as soul. So if you translate it to Hebrew, it could be God's breath or God's soul. That's what I have tattooed here next to my Ishmael one.
I love it. I asked you if Tommy Lee knew about your Motley Crue tattoo. He said, "Oh yeah, he knows."
Oh yeah, he knows. He knows.
Like, so are you buddies with Tommy Lee?
Yeah, I met him. We've hung out a few times. I've known him for a few years now. I know Brandon a little bit about his kid, who's like around my age. I know him a little bit better. But yeah, they're all very sweet.
Yeah, Tommy's just the fucking greatest, man.
We had so much fun with Tommy on the podcast.
We had so much fun with him.
I bet. He's funny.
Yeah, he really is.
Funny.
He's funny and he's cool and he's easygoing. He's like
there's always been a little kid. He's got that little kid energy and
I feel like the Dirt, MGK, the Dirt, that's who he like portrayed, and like that's pretty spot on with how he was.
Yeah.
I love those books. The Heroin Diaries, The Dirt, Tattoos and Tequila. I read those all when I was like 14. Loved them.
Nice.
Great books.
Yeah.
I thought about the audience thing. I love the motivation's important. The knowledge is important. Like all the talent's important. But yeah, that motivation helps with like the legwork and like actually kind of like faith without works is dead. That whole thing.
Right.
It's like knowledge is power, but if you don't do anything with it, you're really not doing anything.
Right.
Like, it has to be put into action.
Yeah, I think that's too what made my dad so happy with me calling Motley Crue. It's like, I was doing God's work, man. Calling on fucking Motley Crue. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's been super rad too. Like what a great experience to do this with you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Again.
Yeah, very good energy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I work hard on that.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, the Wendy
Little Miss
veered
Thang
straight from me to you, and it's never happened.
Pardon?
Wendy just veered from me to you,
now
and
she's napping.
I'm forever fucking jealous of how much my dog loves fucking him.
Yeah, Steve came number 3 to Wendy in this podcast.
Right. Well, right on. Yeah. So we can.
Should we hit record now and start doing it?
call it there. But yeah, if you have any thoughts where you're like, oh, dude, fuck, like take that out, just let us know. Like I said, man, we're not.
I think it's fine. I don't think I said anything too incriminating.
And there you have it, folks. A fascinating young lady named Paris Jackson, and I like to consider her a friend. I think that she would be okay with me saying that. Also, I like to consider Rue a friend. He's a mischievous little guy, and I don't know if he's supposed to be with us on the bus or at my house, but I think we're going to help find him a home, and I think that I'm going to just get into the habit of finding more homes for more animals, because that's what I'm about, man. Like Curly from the Three Stooges. Go ahead and Google Curly, C-U-R-L-Y, from the Three Stooges, and dogs. Get a load of that guy. Saved and rescued, homed 5,000 dogs estimated in his life. That's what he was about, man. And I'm taking a cue from old Curly. With that, I love you and thank you.